I picked up a dumbass. He had amnesia, but damn, he was gorgeous. I lied and told him he was my fiancé. The idiot believed me. Then his memory came back, and turns out he was some big shot rich kid. He went back to his life without a single look back. 2 years later, I saw him again. I watched as the same guy now used the toe of his expensive shoe to grind another man's fingers into the floor, his voice like ice, worthless. I turned to run, and he called out, "My fiancé, did you lose your memory too?" Seeing Hunter back in my life was surreal. He donated a library to the school, and they invited him for some kind of meet and greet. "Mr. Huntington, you're so young and successful. What inspired you to invest in education?" His voice was flat. "I want to make sure that people who want to read, can read. That's all." "Does this desire come from personal experience?" Hunter Huntington paused. 3 years ago, he'd lost his memory and been dumped in the middle of nowhere, spending the worst year of his life. Nobody knew about that. I sat in the audience, watching him from afar. Now, Hunter was decked out in an expensive suit, his expression indifferent, and me? I was just a broke college student who'd just applied for financial aid. We were maybe 300 feet apart, but it felt like an uncrossable canyon. My roommate was practically drooling. "He's so hot. He's totally my man." Another one elbowed her. "Back off, he's my man." There are tons of rich guys who get famous online, but someone like Hunter Huntington, who was hot enough to give movie stars a run for their money, those are rare. Everyone joked about him being their man. "Hey, did you guys hear the rumor about him disappearing 3 years ago? I thought he just went overseas to study." "There wasn't a disappearance. Sierra, did you hear?" my roommate suddenly asked. I shook my head. "Not really. I heard he was found out west." "Sierra, aren't you from out there? You must have heard something." "Nope, I'm a terrible liar." Thank God the theater was dark, hiding my guilty face. 3 years ago, Hunter wasn't just out west. He was in my house, eating and sleeping with me for over a year. Our closest. I held him and slept in the same bed. These were secrets I'd take to the grave. 2 The talk was winding down. Time for questions. Some girl raised her hand. "Mr. Huntington, is it true you have a fiancée, and you even have her name tattooed on you?" Gossip is a universal sport. The energy perked right up. "That's not really relevant to today's topic." The woman speaking was Wendy Silverton, sitting next to Hunter, and apparently his right-hand woman. Rumor had it, they were childhood friends and their families go way back. "It's true," Hunter said, stepping right over Wendy. "The tattoo is on my wrist." He pulled up his sleeve, showing off one letter, S. The crowd went wild. Wendy Silverton was right there. Who else could the S be for? Wendy herself blushed and looked down, like she was admitting it. "Good for them. A match made in heaven." I didn't feel a thing. I just wanted to get back to the dorm and write my paper. As I walked past backstage, the student body president stopped me. "Sierra, you're a lifesaver. Can you grab a jacket for our guests? I can't feel my legs." "Huh? My period is killing me. I can't stand. I need you to do this for me." The president looked pale, clutching her stomach. I had no reason to say no. She'd helped me out with my financial aid application. I couldn't refuse her, but the guests were. The talk was over. Hunter Huntington was walking toward the backstage area, those long legs eating up the space. I wanted to hide, but it was too late. He turned his head and saw me. 3 Hunter's eyes locked onto me. Running now would be super sus. I stood my ground. Thank God I was wearing a mask. Hunter frowned. "You go to this school?" I nodded. He took a step toward me. "What's your name?" "See, that was as far as I got." Wendy Silverton grabbed Hunter's arm. "Let's go. It's freezing back here." She pulled him away. By the time he turned back, trying to catch up with me, I was gone. But I didn't go far. I overheard their conversation. "Don't worry about it. Someone named Sierra isn't her. Her eyes are similar. Even if it was her, so what? She conned you out of a ton of money." My head fell, trembling slightly. She was right. I was the greedy one who sold Hunter. 4 I used to be named Willow Sawyard. I grew up in the middle of nowhere, out west, in a really poor little town. How poor? When I was a kid, my family couldn't afford rice. My mom would pick through the trash for leftover noodles, wash the maggots off, and cook them for us. I was 17 when we got hit with a huge blizzard. When the snow had closed the roads, I found Hunter at the edge of town. He was sitting there, spaced out, staring into nothing. I walked up to him. "Hey, what's your name?" "Hunt." "Hunt." He couldn't even get the words out. The guy was out of his mind. I wanted to walk away, but he grabbed me, looking desperate. Cold, hungry, in this weather, he wouldn't make it through the night. People freeze to death every winter in my town. Drunks, passed out in the snow, their bodies stiff the next day. I didn't really want to deal with him, but I couldn't just leave him to die. I took him home. That day, walking into the house through the snow, I had no idea how long our lives would be tangled together. 5 He looked a few years older than me. I called him Hunt. He didn't have any ID, nothing at all. He was a blank slate, like someone had wiped him clean on purpose. I took him to the police. Called around to the local departments. Nothing. It wasn't a surprise. We lived in the sticks. The people in charge didn't give a damn. Why would they try and help someone they didn't know? They told us to wait for a call. We waited a year. The dumbass moved into my house. I had my reasons. My mom was sick and kept getting confused. Later, in college, I learned it was Alzheimer's. No cured. I was taking care of my mom, studying, and working part-time with Hunter around. At least I didn't have to work. He was young and strong, so he could handle some physical labor, but he was weird. For a big guy, he was super delicate. At first, he couldn't do anything right. Clumsy as hell, always complaining. I was getting fed up. "If you don't pull your weight, I'm kicking you out." Hunter freaked out. "Sierra, you can't leave me. I'm your husband." "Oh, yeah." I lied and told him that eating our food meant he had to marry me. It was a white lie. That idiot was way too attractive, attracting a bunch of old biddies trying to marry me off to their grandkids. That was the only way to shut them up. Poor people marry young. Where I grew up, getting engaged in your teens was normal. When I said I was going to kick him out, Hunter looked lost. He had this whole playboy thing going on. But he looked at me like a scared puppy. After that, Hunter worked his ass off, finally earning his keep. Then he started showing his other side. One time, I got my period, and didn't realize I'd bled through my pants walking out of school. The guys started laughing at me. Hunter was waiting for me to walk home. Those guys said, "Look at Willow Sawyer's boyfriend. He ruined her ass and now she's bleeding." Hunter heard them, and he charged those guys and beat them to the ground. He hit hard, aiming for the kill, like a wild animal. I didn't even recognize him. I grabbed his arm. "Hunt, stop it." He froze, letting me pull him away. If Willow says stop, I stop. The guys were covered in bruises, and their parents came after us, demanding medical bills, money that we did not have. That night, Hunter seemed to know he messed up. He sat in the corner of the room, looking miserable. When I went to talk to him, I saw tears running down his face. "I'm sorry, Sierra. I know I messed up. I won't cause any more trouble. Don't leave me." He cried like a puppy. My heart melted. "Okay, you have to be good. I only want a husband who listens to me." Okay. The next day, Hunter came home with a bunch of money. He sold his watch. When I found him, he was wearing this expensive looking watch. I freaked out. "Why would you sell that?" "You need that watch to find your family." He smiled. "You're my family. I don't need to go anywhere. I'm staying with you." That dumbass probably got ripped off. That watch had to be worth way more than that, but Hunter didn't care. He was good, only listening to me. After that, those guys had terrible luck. Tacks in their shoes, bugs in their clothes, rocks in their rice. Their tires kept getting slashed, and one fell into the river. What a coincidence. I looked at Hunter. He just smiled back. 6 Looking back, Hunter showed his cards a long time ago. He used to correct my English. I asked him, "Did you study English?" He froze. "I don't know. Did I?" Even with no memory, he still had a knack for languages. My mom said, "Hunter must be from the city." I said, "That's great. I'm going to go to the city one day." My mom didn't say anything. She didn't want to break my heart. If he really was a city boy, we didn't have a shot. Too much of a difference. The day after I graduated, it poured. Our old house leaked. My bed was soaked, so I had to sleep on a mat with Hunter. We were close enough to feel each other breathing. "Can't sleep?" he asked. "What if I don't get in anywhere?" "You will. I heard the kids in the city are super smart. The teachers are too. I work so hard, but I don't think I can keep up." "Where do you want to go?" I thought about it. "New York City. I want to see Times Square." "Don't laugh. Every country kid dreams of seeing Times Square." "Okay, we'll go to New York City. We'll take your mom." "Hunt, what if I don't get in?" "I'll take you," Hunter said. "I promise, I'll bring you there." My heart skipped a beat. I was 18 years old, and finally understood what it felt like to fall in love. I was so glad he was my husband. I hugged him, pulling in his warmth. Hunter stiffened for a second, then wrapped his arms around me. We held each other, not doing anything, but meaning everything. Looking back, that night, I was drunk on happiness. I didn't notice Hunter changing. He wasn't dumb anymore. Every word he said was careful, hiding an edge. His eyes had a sharp light in the darkness. His light. 7 The memories faded. I grabbed the jacket, hanging around backstage. Hunter was throwing a fit in the green room. I didn't know what happened, but he was pissed. I peeked through the door. I saw Hunter grinding someone's fingers into the floor with his shoe, his voice cold, worthless. I gasped. Was that Hunter? The same guy who followed me around, promising to protect me forever? The same guy who cried in the corner after paying for the medical bills? Maybe this was the real him. After I got to New York, I read some business magazines. I learned about Hunter's real life. He was 8 years older than me, the black sheep son of the Huntington dynasty. He might have been born out of wedlock, but it didn't make him any less powerful. Not even 30, but already ruthless. A year ago, he'd driven his older brother crazy to become the sole heir. It was hard to picture the cruel side of Hunter from just reading the articles, but seeing it now felt familiar, and like looking at a stranger. Maybe I should just leave the jacket at the door and go. As I was thinking, the door burst open. "Who's out here?" Hunter walked out. His face was blank, his glasses reflecting the cold light. I shivered. It's okay. I have a mask on, and makeup. With my eyeliner on, who would recognize me? I tried to sound casual. "This is for Wendy." Before I could finish, a girl walked past backstage and called out, "Sierra, you still haven't gone back to the dorm yet?" As she said my name, Hunter grabbed my wrist.